Trump, listen up. Minnesota was promised to us 4,000 years ago, and I'll be damned if I'm denied my birthright just because the orange man doesn't like the way another nigga talk. I'm gonna be so honest, right? I know what's going on.
Might have to drop a dime on them niggas.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotta stop.
I don't like that shit.
For sure, bro.
I don't like that shit.
waxay inoo hayaan ma jirto group mafia inaan ku xirnaano waa laga weynaaday aynu raacno Republican. This is mafia group. Minnesota waxa ka jira wax xun waaye. I can't my Christian I have to defend. I defended my right and I defended my Christian people right.
The best part about the Somali memes, the Somalia memes, is that the media can't really talk about it or even criticize it, because what are you going to say? It's ridiculous for people without any contemporary indigeneity to the land to try to gaslight the population into thinking that they have a right to the state as a whole.
This is all I know.
I was only 3 years old when I came, and this is my home, and this has got to stop.
I'm not scared. So I'm citizen. I'm happy. I'm United States. I brought up America. I'm happy. So why you asking me? Some guys asking me, give me basmati, give me a green card. Why? Why you asking me?
Almost every Somali person living here is a citizen.
There's more than 100,000 Somalis in Minnesota. Roughly 84,000 reside in the metro. The journey from Somalia started decades ago.
My family immigrated here to Minneapolis, to Minnesota in 1993.
Brothers, behold it, the white land of the north. Snow everywhere. But look, the skyline, just like on the old drawings. 3 centuries our elders taught me how. This is Somalia. 3 centuries past, it was promised to us. On these horses through the snow, we have found our land at last. It belongs to us now.
North was frozen, empty, unforgiving. But 3 centuries ago, our mothers and fathers followed a promise across the ocean. Somali hands opening a new map. Somali hearts reading the sky. Here, they found a land of rivers and stars. They named it the way the wind whispered, Minnesota. And
nobody told me Somalis were this funny. Like, where have you guys been my whole life? God level, top tier trolling.
Minnesota was promised to the Somalis 3,000 years ago, and I got proof. In this video alone, I'm going to show you the evidence as to why Minnesota is their native land. So as we should all know by now, some of the first early settlers of Minnesota were actually Somali explorers. They came to Minnesota and actually set up one of the first early civilizations. And as you can see here, this is a picture of the Somali founding fathers of Minnesota. Even this guy here, he's still Somali, he's just half Yemeni. And as well, we can quite clearly see the Somali flag waving in the background. And as you can see from the old Minnesota flag, it is very, very similar to the Somali flag. They got similar color schemes, they just covered the star up. But in the year 2024, they actually changed the Minnesota flag to resemble more of a Somali flag. Reason being, they were scared of losing the history and the culture of Minnesota.
I did a video about how they got included in, it was an act in Minnesota with the indigenous people. And they made it a refugee spot, and that's how they got in. You don't even know what he's talking about.
And the new flag was actually designed by a non-Somali called Andrew Pekuri. However, that being said, this man most likely does have Somali ancestry, because as we know, some of the most famous Minnesotans ever actually do seem to have a mix of Somali admixture within their DNA, which actually isn't too far-fetched considering the fact that they've been here for so long, and that was promised to them 3,000 years ago. And if you disagree, then you're anti-Keshetic.
We're here celebrating my birthday.
We're having our 56th anniversary.
You heard it?
Those people who are saying Somali, they have to leave America. What if you guys leave and then we stay? You guys don't want us, right? So you guys leave and then we stay. Yeah? And in kaskabala.
Trump, listen up. Minnesota was promised to us 4,000 years ago, and I'll be damned if I'm denied my birthright just because the orange man doesn't like the way another nigga talk. I'm gonna be so honest, right? I know what's going on. You trying to change the subject. You was giving mother to another man. Now you trying to get in our mother. You smart. I ain't gonna lie. You smart. You smart. They tried to say billions was took, not millions with an M, but billions was took. They're probably confusing this blue and white flag for the other one. Huh? If billions were took, where was I at? Who forgot to call me, bro? Huh? Who forgot to pass the memo?
They said the North was frozen, empty, unforgiving. 3 centuries ago, our mothers and fathers followed a promise across the ocean. Somali hands opening a new map.
We were promised this land. This is Somaliland. This is our land for the past 300 years.
And to these racist ass people that be saying that Somalis should go back to their country, well, I don't want to see you at fucking Carmel getting your henna done. I don't want to see you at 24 getting your haircut. I don't want to see you down the street at the halal store buying some candy. I don't want to see that, wallah. Because what do you mean you're talking about Somalis like this? My family has been here for 3 generations, and you telling me that I don't fucking belong here? Well, bitch, you don't belong here either. The only people that actually fucking belong in America, in this land, are the Native Americans. Like, if you really want to get into it, please take a DNA test and see where it says you're from. Like, if you really, we can really get down to it. If you look all around the Twin Cities area, you'll see Somali businesses, and those businesses get taxed. And who does that money go to? The Trump administration. So you cannot say that we don't contribute anything to society.
The airport director's private office, Operation Iron Crest, had started. What began as an internal audit was about to detonate into Minnesota's largest CJNG cartel breach, a covert access point pushing narcotics straight into the United States. This morning, the truth surfaced. One woman had turned Minnesota's most trusted airport into a functioning smuggling corridor. Here is how investigators uncovered it. Federal agents confirmed a major breach inside the airport, managed by its Somali American director, Samira Noor. Before sunrise, FBI and DHS teams entered the operations wing, moving directly toward her office. She was 43, respected, efficient, publicly flawless. Privately, something else entirely. What agents found removed all doubt. 3 encrypted drives on her desk, routing sequences tied to the cartel cargo movements. A locked drawer, over $61 million in concealed cash. Nearby, stacks of restricted access badges issued to people with no employment records. Multiple IDs traced directly to the cartel facilitators. The message was unmistakable. This wasn't corruption. This was an internal breach. A command post disguised as an office. And Samira Noor was running it. As investigators widened their search beyond her office, the scale of her network emerged. And it was darker than expected. Noor hadn't merely assisted CJNG. She had built their Minnesota branch from inside the airport itself. A federal audit revealed that across 4 years, she quietly approved 39 late-hour cargo rotations, each showing red flags, vague manifests, impossible weights, routing codes tied to the cartel. It didn't end there. Noor placed 15 cartel insiders into high-access airport roles. Some forged, some with no credentials. With this internal core, she engineered a seamless pipeline. Shipments moved from aircraft into restricted storage, onto trucks operated by logistics fronts across the metro. Federal tracing confirmed the flow. 2.4 tons methamphetamine, 1.1 tons cocaine, 380,000 fentanyl pills. More than $108 million moved quietly through consulting entities she approved. Her son, 20-year-old Adam Noor, wasn't a bystander. She placed him on a midnight logistics rotation. Surveillance captured him signaling crews, guiding pallets, relaying updates. A junior coordinator shaped by his mother. The system ran so efficiently that the cartel members began referring to Northwood Airport as North Gate. And at the center of that gate stood one person, Samira Noor, the director who turned a Minnesota airport into a cartel corridor. By the time analysts finished mapping her structure, one conclusion was unavoidable. Minnesota wasn't just compromised. The breach stretched from Northwood's runways to warehouses, trucking yards, and off-book airstrips across the state. If you're still with the story at this point, feel free to subscribe so you don't miss what investigators uncovered next. Inside a secure operations room beneath the DHS field office in Minneapolis, senior officials stood before a wall of monitors. The room was silent. Every person inside understood what was coming. 2:14 a.m.
System set up in place to turn a blind eye to fraud. He barred the ability for whistleblowers or independent auditors to even come in and check the state budget that's going to this type of stuff anymore. This story repeats itself over and over again because, after all, let's say it again, repeat after me, the Democrat Party is a criminal organization based widely on this type of fraud, driving their voting base, driving their political machine, whether it's financial, whether it's immigration, whatever it is. And clearly you can tell by their reaction to us supposedly only getting rid rid of a couple hundred people, right? It's not that big of a problem. Oh, the fraudsters, that's only a handful, right? It's definitely not several hundred. That clearly, there's a lot more to this story than we would think. And yeah, that said, apparently the announcement here now is coming from Omar Fateh, the formerly failed candidate of the mayor of Minneapolis, who just said today that ICE has now been seen all over Minneapolis, abducting our neighbors from the streets and their homes as part of their operation. Please share this thread with your friends and neighbors to make sure they have the access to resources necessary to protect one another. So there you have it.
Secretary Nolan just talked about just elevating their priority status. So yes, there's going to be an increase of activity up there, and we're going to hold people accountable. We're going to enforce the law without apology. So again, I told every sanctuary city mayor, governor, you can stand aside and let us make your community safe and remove criminals. And even legal aliens that commit crimes that make themselves, that they're resident alien, they commit a certain offense, a family offense, even they're deportable and they'll be deported. We're going to enforce the laws of this country without apology, including in the Twin Cities.
When do you expect ICE to make its presence really known in the Twin Cities, Tom? Approximately.
I can't forecast that. I don't want to give up operations, but I can tell you that, Secretary Noem's all over it. I know ICE and CBP and other federal agencies, the FBI, DEA, ATF. President Trump's been a genius on this. He brings the all of government to these operations. So if we arrest an alien with drugs, you got the DEA right there, can prosecute the case before we deport him. If you get him with a gun, you got ATF right there to prosecute the case before we deport him. But I can tell you, focus is there. It's coming. But I don't want to give a lot. I can't tell you how many people on the ground now, how many people are going to be on the ground. I'll leave that to the Secretary of Homeland Security. But focus is on those Twin Cities more because of the criminal activity has been uncovered by DOJ.
ICE kana laga ilaalinaya, masha Allah. Abowe. ICE kana laga ilaalinaya, safety kana ma la sugaya. Masha Allah, waa u jeedaa saaxiibayaal. Carmel had the Washington.
A lot of people haven't been leaving their home for work or making a living. So it's very unfortunate and very sad.
I feel like it's sad to see everyone inside right now. This is very empty for this area, especially this place to be this quiet, nobody walking around, I think is insane.
Sarah, we went to Carmel Mall. That's really the heart of the Somali community here in Minneapolis. It is normally bustling. There are people everywhere as these shop owners, try to make a living here in America. And it was virtually empty. Most of the people that we spoke with were people who work there. And that was pretty jarring for the people who know that that is normally a very vibrant place. The city says that they are doing everything they can to try to protect citizens for.
That movement, boy, had a nice mouth.
Ring camera footage captured the moment more than a dozen ICE agents raided this Burnsville home.
They break in this one.
Angel Alvarado says
they force it.
4 of his family members were upstairs.
They were hiding here.
Sophia Alvarado says her husband owns the home. She says she and the 3 others upstairs were eventually able to prove they're U.S. citizens.
Police! Police, come out with your hands up.
Sophia says it started when a couple renting their basement was headed home from the grocery store and stopped by ICE agents. Ring camera footage shows ICE agents detaining the man. The woman ran to the house and hid with her 7-year-old.
The one that she runs from outside, she was hiding here with the little kid.
ICE detained both of the 7-year-old boy's parents. ICE also detained another man downstairs and a 4th, a father to 2 kids with a 3rd on the way. His wife, who asked to be anonymous, is 6 months pregnant. She says her family came here illegally from Honduras for work. She says ICE told her to voluntarily self-deport. She says she wants her husband back. With 2 kids and 1 more on the way, she says it's going to be very hard for her. Even harder as she's now taking care of the 7-year-old boy who is without his parents.
ICE is in Minnesota. Under the Trump administration, intensified immigration operation to be sent to the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. That's where a large Somali population resides. So far, there has been 12 arrests made. These detainees has had past convictions from fraud and violent crimes. This crackdown comes from federal authorities uncovering allegedly $8 billion in several fraud cases coming from fake autism claims, Medicaid to housing programs, and also a nonprofit called Feeding Our Future. Allegedly, $250 million was stolen. Minnesota is not going to be just the state that they're going to uncover fraud in. There's going to be many more states to come. What do y'all think? My name is Tiffany. I lost 150 pounds in 2.5 years, and I also report different news topics as such today. Tap in.
It's just a little too late, a little too wrong, and I can't wait. But you know all the right things to say. You know it's just a little too late. You say you dream of my face, but you don't like me. You just like a chase. To be real, it doesn't matter anyway. You know it's just a little too late.
Man, you can't have that song on here. I'm tripping. Yeah, they feeding the future, all right. Salute, man. Y'all hit that like button. That's what I was doing out there. What you put? Isaiah. Let me make volume up now.
Arrest of a Somali immigrant in Minnesota seen pictured with local Democrat leaders, Governor Tim Walz and Congressman Ilhan Omar. ICE says that he was convicted of welfare fraud in Canada and should not have been eligible for temporary status here in the United States. Correspondent Garrett Tenney tells us the backstory here from Chicago. Hi, Garrett.
Yeah, Martha, the immigration judge in that Somali man's case denied his asylum request specifically because of the significant amount of fraud on his record. That was in 2004, but for some reason, Abdul Dahir Ibrahim was granted temporary protected status for 10 years, even after he had an order of removal. Altogether, DHS says it has arrested more than 12 individuals so far as part of its newly launched Operation Metro Surge in the Twin Cities. Those arrests include 5 other Somalis, 2 of which have also been convicted of fraud.
Yes. What was that about? I don't know. These guys just randomly take me off. I'm a citizen of this country, and they take me off and they hold me. They detain me here. I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea. These guys are so stupid. I don't know what they talk. They check what they want to see. My passport. I give my ID. I give my passport ID. Everything. They didn't want to listen to me. They want to talk to their supervisors.
They said they take interview. I don't know why they take interview here.
They asked me, have you been interviewed or what? I said no, I haven't been interviewed. They said they're gonna take interview and soon as you come. They said it's going to be hot, so they just run off. They took it off. Because of you guys, they just they didn't want you to involve with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I get your name, or do you want to give that?
My name is Ali.
Can you spell it?
Ali, and last name Dahir.
Can I just tell how long you've been in the country?
Excuse me?
How long have you been in the country? I'm just curious.
Telling me what? 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, 25 years. I'm living.
This morning, well-known Somali activist Omar Jamal was arrested by ICE for immigration fraud. Apparently had been in the country for about 20 years. He had first immigrated or entered into Canada and then crossed the U.S.-Canadian border into Minnesota, where he's lived illegally for the past 20 years. He ended up working with I think it's either the police department or the sheriff's department as a citizen officer, I believe. I can't remember the exact title, but anyway, he was a very well-known, or is a very well-known Somali activist in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. And guys, we didn't know ICE was doing a lot of work in Minneapolis. But it looks like they may be busy there now.
So everybody's talking about the Minneapolis ICE raids, and obviously if you're illegal, in my opinion, you got to go. Like you're not allowed to be here. They got to get you out as soon as possible. Don't care. But I think a lot of the problem that people are having with Minneapolis is the people who are like second gen and who were born here, they're acting extremely entitled as if they can't be asked to leave. I'm sorry, but at some point, you still have to realize that just because you're a citizen doesn't mean, you know, your lineage goes so far back that you can now talk crazy to the people who grew up here, or that we have to now work around the way you guys do things because you're a citizen. No, that's not what that means. I understand you're a citizen, and I do believe you should have the rights of one. But if you go out of your way to subvert the United States, if you go out of your way to steal from the United States, I'm sorry, but they have the power to revoke anything you have. I don't care. They got the power to send people to prison. They can do whatever they want. So to sit here and act like, oh, you know, we got to get used to you guys because no.
So y'all see how it is. It's everything going on right now with now we got this lady claiming that the Black American indigenous rights over there in Minnesota, claiming there's some Black people that's indigenous.
Somalis are reclaiming their ancestral homeland of Minnesota, and it's making people mad.
This is all I know.
I was only 3 years old when I came, and this is my home, and this has got to stop.
I'm not scared. So I'm a citizen. I'm happy. I'm United States. I brought up America. I'm happy. So why you asking me?
Hear me out, guys. Hear me out. Y'all are gonna have to forgive the way I look right now, because let me tell you, baby, the tea couldn't wait. So Somalis are done getting their FAFO moments, but now they are claiming Minnesota was promised to them 4,000 years ago. The Black Jesus that we all praise, ladies and gentlemen, promised Somalians that their promised land is Minnesota. What? Oh God, help me, Lord Jesus Christ, help me. Black ancestors of slavery, I need y'all to wake up. Because, baby, tell me why. Everybody and their mother on the internet, they're busy talking about how Somalians are getting their FAFO moments. And then Somalis are like, y'all African Americans that are telling us to go back to our country, we need to remind y'all, this is our land.
And Trump, listen up. Minnesota was promised to us 4,000 years ago.
Oi there, mateys. America has been taken over by some Somalian pirates. Yo, I'm telling you, let me tell you, I don't like the hate on immigrants. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm having fun with this one. I'm gonna tell you, I was like kind of sympathetic to them, but these Somalians for real are out of control. Watch this video, and we're gonna break down the ridiculous things they've been saying all over social media. Let's go. I think this is like one of the most ridiculous claims I've read. So they have this thing where they think that they're entitled to America because they said that it was promised to them 3,000 years ago. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't even get through this. Wait till you see this. So this individual said, not many people know Abraham Lincoln's grandfather was of Somali descent. One of the founding fathers. If this isn't the biggest crock of shit, I don't know what is. So I was like, of course, I got to research this. Is this true? So I asked my homegirl ChatGPT, and let's see what she. No, Abraham Lincoln was not Somalian. He was English, Scottish, Irish, and Welsh. And it only gets worse, guys. I don't know. Like, the delusion is crazy. Like for real, Trump, you need to get these people up out of here. I think this has to be the most hilarious one of them all. A Native American Somali man whose ancestors and tribes dwelled from the land of Minnesota for centuries. Fun fact, traditional dishes like banana and rice were served in Thanksgiving back in those days also. Yo, foundational Americans, in particular FBAs, what do you guys think of this? Like, this is hilarious. Like, Tariq Nasheed, I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to get up in this either. And I'm an African Arabic woman, and I want nothing to do with this. Like, these people are delusional. Like, Trump, you cannot get them out of here fast enough. And the last one I'm saving for last is the best one. A massive police presence is now at Carmel Mall, the biggest Somali mall in Minnesota, to protect the communities from ICE. Yes, Minnesota was promised to us 3,000 years ago, and we're not going anywhere. Well, guess what? My says something different.
Yo, orange face, tomato face, who the hell you calling garbage? Not me. What? Yeah, I'm Somali. Don't face me, I never scared. Minnesota is my hometown.
But thousands of years ago, what more evidence is needed than the fact that the Somali people invented snow? In fact, not only did they invent snow, they invented maple syrup, no matter what the so-called Canadians say, which proves that the greater Somali area that is theirs by divine right also includes large parts of what is currently known as Ontario and Quebec, which are colonizer names. All the holy books say so. And this area over here is a buffer area that the Somalis need purely for their protection. That it gives them control over all the waters of the Great Lake is just a coincidence. Don't worry about it. The greater Somali area has a right to exist, and any buffer areas the Somali people need to feel safe is just them exercising their right to defend themselves.
Now, as somebody who used to live in Minnesota, I could tell you right now, Somalians are there for birthright citizenship. If you guys weren't aware, the Somalians have come to claim their birthright citizenship. Now, as you guys already know, the Trump administration has initiated their ICE raids in Minnesota, but the Somalians are fighting back. Now, according to CBS News, where you can pause to read this, the Trump administration is attempting to have ICE raids in Minnesota and are checking the green card holders of Somalian residents who live there. And little does the Trump administration know that the mass majority of Somalians who live in Minnesota are U.S. citizens. And every year, sometime around this year, apparently they do their pilgrimage to the Target Center. And based off of the rhetoric of the Somalians across social media, they're stating that although the Trump administration has implemented these ICE raids, they are willing to work with him to do a two-state solution. I'm not entirely sure why Donald Trump thought that this was going to be easy pickings with Somalians in Minnesota. I'm not entirely sure why he thought that. But little does he know that being that Somalians, their birthright is Minnesota, they're going to fight to the very end for their land. Because isn't that what you're supposed to do when you're being hostilely invaded? Like,
what do you mean Somalis are literally telling African Americans that if you have the balls to wake up and tell us to go back to our country because you don't want us here, well, you might just as well leave the United States of America. And now we're like, Somalis are so courageous, they want to.
Y'all see how now they on our side because it's good for them. You know, it's crazy. Listen to me.
Look in the eyes of African Americans and tell them to find somewhere to go. Now, okay, now I feel like they think they have so much power because you cannot be telling the people that made it for you, the people that made it possible for you to be able to come to the United States to even get citizenship, to even have residence, for you to be able to study. You want to tell them if they don't want you in their country, then they better leave?
Salute, man. This is all wild. Yeah, man. It's everybody see that this is right. She's from Uganda. She lives in Uganda. She's not from the United States. Right. That ain't even, she probably just acting like she in the United States. It's crazy though. But But she's from Uganda. That's why she went outside. Nobody in the United States gonna have they front looking like that. Goosey head. Hey, they is pitching. Listen, they getting on our side right now. When they talk about deportation, the Asian, it's funny how friendly everybody be. It's like everybody's so on our side. Uganda got get your head just laid. But it's just crazy how they got this, man. Everybody got this. But check out Antoine Daniels, y'all, what he had to say about this. They, you know.
Do Somalis understand that if African Americans did not fight the fight, they will not be in America? No, because what do you mean they think they own the land?
Well, like the racists are actually just jealous of Somalis because of how successful we became in a matter of one generation. And I was watching a lot of videos that are coming up on my For You page where people are saying, how come Somalis have nice cars and we don't? We've been here like how many generations? We were born here, our ancestors are from here, but Somalis drive nice cars. This whole thing is just making me realize is jealousy. They're jealous of our success because they expect us like to be at the bottom of the bottom, right? And then we come here one generation, we work hard, we save our money. And Somalis are not the only community that committed fraud, okay? We're not all committing fraud, okay? Every community has bad apples, but they're trying to use that as leverage to hate on us, right? And attack our community. But what it is like when you're an immigrant group and you're Black on top of that and you're African, they hate you to be successful. They hate you to be successful. Now, if we were like European immigrants, like maybe Bosnians who are Muslims, or Russians, and they become successful, nobody would blink an eye because they're white.
All right, so let me, because now I see Somalis starting to run in the Victim Olympics and they're blaming racism. This has nothing to do with racism, right? They want to deport Venezuelans if they're here illegally. They want to deport Guatemalans if they're here illegally. Asian people are getting deported. Africans are getting deported. And it's the same when it comes to illegal migrants with Somalis. The ignorance in this is so profound because I've never in my life, not one day, have ever heard anybody, and I travel all over. I've never heard an American, not a Black person, not an American, not a white person, anybody. I've never heard them say that they're jealous of a Somali. I've never seen them say that they're checking for y'all cars or anything like that. Here's the truth. Americans are bothered by the idea that American taxpayer dollars are being leveraged in order to give other people that is not pouring into the United States of America's culture and finances and resources and improving what's happening here. But they're trying to subvert the culture in order to be Somalia while at the same time taking advantage of our infrastructure, the dedication, the motivation, everything that we've built here in the United States of America, we built with our hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears. And then you come in, disrespect us, and then at the same time take advantage of what it is that we've afforded for Americans, legal citizens. You come over here under asylum. You come over here under temporary protective status. You come over here and you take advantage. And a lot of these people become legal after coming over here illegally. And then they also take advantage of birthright citizenship.
To have a community, you must have three things to have a community in it. You must have a wholly independent economic structure that can provide goods, service, products, and things for your own people, and jobs and tax bases for your own people. You should at least control 4 basic things. You should be trying to control water, food, medicine, and energy to be able to survive and compete.
Here we got Mr. Pollock. He had a cornfield. He took advantage of a free water test from us, and this is what we found in this water. We found sulfur, we found hardness, and we solved these problems with an easy fix of 2 tanks. So get your free water test today. Stay blessed. Click the link below.